I entered the palace at 10. My first night I scared the emperor away. I stopped competing for favor, living a quiet life instead. Yet, he returned, pinning me to the wall in anger.
Sister, do you really not feel even a little moved by me?
Everyone knows that the Prime Minister's legitimate daughter is an old maid who can't get married. It's not because I'm ugly, but because I come from a good family and have good looks. So naturally, my standards are high. The pale, effeminate top scholar didn't interest me. Neither did the rugged, silent, victorious general. The witty but plain air also failed to please. By 25, I remained unmarried while my noble peers were already established. When the new emperor recruited for his harem, my father finally decided to send me into the palace. He felt his lifelong court service meant the emperor should help his unmarried daughter. Sis, you know the palace drama tropes. The emperor is only 20. I could almost be his mother, but father didn't care. He bribed the imperial household to get me into the harem. Before entering, mother gave me a bundle to open later. Other candidates were just 15 or 16. I even held some as babies. Honestly. Maybe it was because my father had bribed them, but I passed the selection for the harem quite easily. When I stood together with the other candidates, I overheard quite a few people whispering about me. They were basically saying I was too old, past my prime. Maybe it's because I'm older now, but my once arrogant and domineering personality has mellowed a bit. If this had been a few years ago, I definitely would have rushed over and torn their mouths apart. Now I just smiled and asked if they had any problem with me. The leading, charming young girl with willow-shaped eyebrows said, "Tree." "Auntie, did you come to the wrong place?" She actually called me Auntie. Clearly, they thought I got in through the back door. This little girl even dared to offend me to my face. Either her family background is strong enough to give her confidence, but could it possibly be stronger than my father's? So I just smiled at her. My father is the Prime Minister, after all, when I'm out and about. Status is something you give yourself. My father worked so hard to rise above all the officials. If I don't show off a little, it would really be letting down all his efforts. Sure enough, after hearing this, the group of girls fell silent. Only the one who spoke earlier muttered quietly, "What's so great about you anyway?" I glanced at her calmly and made up my mind about one thing. In the harem, I can slack off, but I absolutely cannot let this little girl walk all over me. Otherwise, it would be far too humiliating. Mainly, I'd embarrass my father. Entering the palace requires more than just his status as Prime Minister. Crucially, my childhood friend Ji Wantong is the current Empress Dowager. We grew up together since we were toddlers. She is ambitious and capable, becoming Empress Dowager after 10 years in the palace. Now she handles the selection of palace maidens. When I entered the hall with the others, Ji Wantong saw me. She spat out her tea, startling everyone, but I was satisfied. Now the Empress Dowager, Wantong Youngmei, quickly composed herself. With a wave, she bestowed titles on several girls. Pointing at me, she paused and asked,
"Your family is noble. Shall we name you Noble Lady?"
I smiled and agreed. Friends are reliable. Titled, I Left Chunhua Palace. My roommate, Sister Shu, was a sweet, bun-faced girl who blushed while speaking, mostly because she always complimented my looks. I looked at the clever child with growing affection. That night, I remembered the bundle of storybooks my mother gave me, but the stories felt strange and ended abruptly halfway through.
Why did my mother only give me the first volume?
4 days in, the eunuchs took Shu Jing away. He left tearfully, begging to stay, but he returned glowing. He just grinned foolishly at my questions, so inexperienced. I was both annoyed and curious. I guess I'm just getting older. The emperor fairly grants everyone his favor. A few days later, the eunuch announced the emperor chose my name. He looked at me uncertainly, confirming, "You are Noble Lady Shen." I nodded, urging him, "Hurry, don't keep the emperor waiting." Even after escorting me, he seemed uneasy, double-checking until it was nearly impolite. After he left, I lay quietly. Soon, I heard sounds. The emperor entered, standing at the foot of my bed. He was silent, so I sat up, facing a young man more handsome than his portraits. I thanked my father for his wisdom. He was exactly my type. Seeing me sit up, he startled and stepped back.
Noble Lady Shen.
The emperor called out, confused. I replied respectfully, "I am here." Xiu looked at me, nervous. I am a classic beauty, but she is inexperienced and her face soon flushed red. I wrapped my arms around her neck, but the emperor suddenly pushed me away and fled. This time 23 beauties entered. Visiting the Empress Dowager, I saw everyone was stunning. The Emperor is truly blessed. After her lecture, the others left. Then Ji Wantong suddenly grabbed my hand.
You slept with the Emperor last night.
I specifically asked the household department to get you some blush for your family. Isn't my son handsome? Back then, when the Emperor let me choose one of the princes, I immediately picked Yuer at first glance. He was a chubby little baby, so adorable. How did Yuer do? I let out a sigh. Is it his age? Ji Wantong looked struck. How could this happen? I felt something was off but didn't dwell on it, assuming he was just upset about Emperor Wei Yuanfang. I patted his shoulder, acting relaxed. It's fine. He's still young. It's normal. Ji Wantong looked even worse. A message arrived from the study. The new emperor is busy and rarely visits the harem. Of 23 concubines, only 8 have been summoned. I haven't seen him for a month myself. I just snack and read with Shu Jin. Life is leisurely. But Ji Wantong seems more upset than I am. She's been sighing all day. When I asked what was wrong, she grabbed my hand and sobbed. Even as a girl, she was a crybaby. I never thought that as Empress Dowager, she'd still be so prone to tears. I remember the last time she cried this hard was when we snuck out to see the top scholar. There were too many people, and she tripped right in front of him. After we got back, she cried for days, vowing to give up on love forever. But soon, she fell for a ministry official's son. I saw him years ago, already balding before 30. The top scholar hadn't lost his hair but had grown stout. Recalling the emperor's fit physique, I sighed. Youth is best. As I mused, Ji Wantong tugged my sleeve, sniffling. Why is your life so hard? What the heck? How am I suffering? What does any of this have to do with you? He put on a serious face and solemnly promised me. Gigi, don't worry, I'll explain everything. Ji Wantong gave me an ambiguous smile. Was she finally ready to introduce me to those handsome faces? Instead, an angry Siyu arrived. He had a tall, handsome figure but looked quite furious. Shu Jing shrank back in fear like a quail, not daring to greet him. Forget it, after all, he's just a child. I straightened my clothes and bowed gracefully, acting the part of a noble lady. Shu, with a dark expression, waved off my salute.
What did you say to the Empress?
I smiled. I didn't say anything, Your Majesty. Shu frowned in anger.
For now, don't bother the Empress Dowager. Stay in your palace and copy books.
Please don't. I get a headache every time I read. I wanted to say more, but Siyu completely ignored me and turned to leave.
When you were little, I even held you in my arms. Even if you don't want to read, you have to for the sake of your life.
Anger was useless. The emperor and his mother already involved me. I had to copy books because Siu had a nanny watch me. Today, the emperor was promoting Shu Jin again. As she left with her books, I asked why. She said, "Last time we discussed state theory, I had questions and need his guidance." I asked how long they talked. "All night," she replied. "We just discussed books." I was impressed. This emperor spends every night promoting people and moving shoes for corpses. No one sleeps at all, and on the 10th of this month, it was my turn again. Ever since I found out that you can't sleep at night when it's your turn, I lost all enthusiasm for it. Before the little emperor even came over, I took off my shoes and socks and got into bed to sleep on my own. I really didn't want to get caught up in a whole night of discussion. Just as I was dozing off, the sound of the door opening startled me awake. I opened my eyes in a daze and sat up, only to find myself face to face with the emperor. His eyes were wet and puppy-like, making it impossible for anyone not to want to get closer. What was Shen Nanji thinking?
That is, after all, Ji Wantong's son in name.
Noble consort Shen has been doing quite well lately.
Seeing Siyu's state, I quickly saluted. "By your grace," I replied.
Is that so? But I haven't been doing so well lately.
I wanted to ask how that concerns me, but in this situation, I'd better stay quiet.
I heard that noble consort Shen wasn't very satisfied with my performance last time. Why don't I fulfill your wish today, so people in the palace won't spread rumors in the future?
Your Majesty, what are you saying? You are full of vigor. As the Emperor listened, his face turned an unnatural red. I knew he had been drugged, and only one person in the harem would dare. Ji Wantong, my best friend. Shu pulled me into her arms, gazing deeply as she called my name.
Stars.
Actually, I've known the little emperor for a long time. Back then, he was just a frail prince living in the cold palace, bullied by the other princes every day. That year, I entered the palace with my father and happened to save him when he fell into the water. At that time, he clung to me tightly like a little cat, calling me sister. He held on to me as if I were a lifeline, refusing to let go even as the sun set, not willing to let me leave. That was when I lied to him and said, I promised to return the next day but never did. A minister's daughter meeting a prince privately was a crime. Though unruly, I knew my boundaries. He likely forgot me too. As Siyu leaned in, I closed my eyes in resignation. Next morning, an excited Ji Wantong found me. I'd just woken up. Shu Jing was massaging my waist. Ji Wantong's eyes lit up. Shu Jing, little luggage. She called out to him, and in the end, she drove Shu Jing out, then leaned in close to me and asked how I was doing. Carrying him last night nearly killed me. Yesterday, I thought I'd get to experience a domineering emperor's forced love, but instead, he stopped again, complaining about the medicine in cold water. No matter how long I called, not a single servant came in, so I just picked him up and threw him straight into the lotus pond. I used so much force that I strained my back. The lotus pond in early autumn was chilly, and Siyu stood in the water, completely soaked. She looked at me with a complicated expression, saying nothing like an abandoned puppy. You're really funny. Wasn't it her who wanted cold water? So who is she putting on this pitiful wronged wife act for now? I squatted by the shore, gazed at her from afar, then patted my butt and walked away. Throwing the emperor into the lotus pond, well, it's not exactly a big deal, but it's not that small either. But what can I say? My father is the prime minister after all. I heard the old man's been getting scolded at court every day lately. Poor thing. I haven't even settled the score for him drugging me. Ji Wantong, however, hugged me and wept first. She's always been this way. At 8, she cried for days after I accidentally cut her hair. I soon realized she was the capital's biggest crybaby. Even now, as the esteemed Empress Dowager, she still bursts into tears instantly. I rubbed my throbbing brow. What's going on with her today? Yua, she doesn't seem to like women. I widened my eyes in surprise when I heard this. How do you know? I only found out recently myself. When she summons those concubines to spend the night, she doesn't do anything but talk about the 4 books and 5 classics or discuss capital city policy essays. If she comes across someone who isn't good at academics, she just talks them to sleep. And if she meets someone who's good at it, she'll keep them up chatting all night. Quite a few concubines have come to me in tears about it. They absolutely refuse to serve in her chambers anymore. What are we supposed to do about that? Hearing this, I gestured with my mouth toward Jujin at the door. Over there is Ji Wantong, who can't wait to serve in her chambers every day. She turned my head back. Gigi, in this vast harem, you're the only one I can truly trust. The matter of the imperial heir is of utmost importance and cannot be taken lightly. A look of gravity appeared on Ji Wantong's face. So I have an important task to entrust to you. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Jin Wantu, what are you thinking, actually asking me to do it? The words were on the tip of my tongue, but realizing my voice was a bit too loud, I quickly lowered it. You actually want me to go and attract Siyu, Ji Wantong, if you think about it. You're now Yuer's consort, after all. That won't do either. If word of this gets out, how am I supposed to face anyone? What would all our old girlfriends think? They'd say I, Shen Nanji, am so shameless. But she's not my real daughter anyway. It doesn't matter. No, that still won't do. Ji Wantong started crying again when she heard this. Gigi, you're my only close friend. If you won't help me, what am I supposed to do? How could I ever face the late emperor again? I might as well just go join him now, save myself the trouble of living. That's the trick she always uses. Helpless, I grabbed Ji Wantong's arm. Where did you even learn all these shameless rascal tactics? How, Gigi, just agree to help me, please. She wore me down until I had no choice. But let's be clear about this. No one else can know about this. Not a third person. Satisfied with my answer, Ji Wantong left, leaving me alone to regret how I'd fallen for her trick. With Ji Wantong backing me up, getting into Siyu's palace was a piece of cake. So when Siyu came in, she saw me sitting on her bed, hair all disheveled. In the storybooks, they say hair like a waterfall, so I deliberately took off all my hairpins and ornaments. Siyu later told me that when she saw me, she thought some ghostly woman had climbed onto her bed and it gave her quite a scare. It took her quite a while to recognize me.
Lady Shen.
I shyly lifted my face. Your concubine is here, I said, as Siyu frowned and looked me over.
Did someone hit you?
No, not at all.
Then why does your face look like that?
My smile faltered. Maybe it's just my rouge? Siyu stared, then said, Don't use it again. It looks bad. I forced a smile. It's late, Your Majesty. You should rest. Siyu glanced at me. I'm not sleepy. You go ahead. I replied. Then I'll stay up with you. I didn't believe she'd stay awake all night, but she did, heading to court full of energy. I was carried back with dark circles under my eyes. Groggy, I reached my quarters just as someone announced, "The Empress Dowager has arrived. Here comes Chi Tong again."
Gigi, how are you? Look at those dark circles under your eyes. I can't take it anymore. Ji Tong is getting old. You better go find some young girls instead. If I keep staying up like this, am I going to shorten my life? My father sent me to the palace to enjoy my old age, not to suffer like this.
It looked like Ji Tong was about to cry again. I have a main story to tell. Siyu barged into my bedchamber again on a bright and sunny afternoon. I was happily cracking melon seeds with Xu Jing when I looked up and saw Siyu's gloomy face. She grabbed me at once, and I quickly looked to Xu Jing for help, but she just ran off without any loyalty at all.
Lady Shen, you're something. Lately, it's just been turtle soup.
Turtles and soft shells are the same thing.
Stay on topic.
I quickly and tactfully shut my mouth.
What's the point of sending those medicinal soups?
I thought your majesty was unwell, so I suggested nourishing herbal soup to strengthen your health and provide heirs for the royal family soon.
You are insulting me.
I didn't say that. Xu leaned closer and lifted my chin with her hand. I awkwardly turned my face away.
Consort Shen was not as bold as before.
He's clearly still a young man, yet he makes me blush. I guess I've spent too long in the palace and haven't seen enough men. He makes my heart race so easily now.
Shen Nanji. What are you doing?
I survived his cold laugh. Suddenly he grabbed my waist. Panicking, I quickly rambled to change the subject. Your Majesty, you were so small when we met. I never imagined you'd grow up so much. Remember that sunny day you wet your pants?
Shen Nanji.
Terrified, I shut up. Shiyu gritted his teeth with a cold laugh.
You really are something else.
I sighed in relief, but my chest still felt stifled. Soon, Si Lanying became pregnant. Ji Wantong smiled bitterly at the news. She hadn't expected Yuer to like such a girl. Grand Tutor Zi's daughter was gentle and virtuous. As she spoke, she glanced at me and fell silent. The Z daughter was truly delicate. She was like a little white flower, as if she would shatter with the slightest breeze. Truly a wonderful girl. I never expected Siyu would come looking for me again. Shen Nanji, I hurriedly stood up. Since that day, we hadn't seen Siyu again. He still looked like a young man, but there was a hint of gloom between his brows. He rushed in and hugged me tightly. Shilanji, no, nothing happened. Siyu paused for a moment when he heard this. He let go and stood there looking fragile. After a long while, he finally spoke. So you don't care. Then he left, leaving me confused. My heart felt a dull, uncomfortable squeeze. I needed a physician, but before I could see one, trouble arrived. Xi Lanying appeared, visibly pregnant and still looking delicate. If he hadn't deliberately grabbed my hand and pushed me toward him, then suddenly jumped into the water, I might have really believed he was as pure as a white jasmine flower. Unfortunately, Si Lanying's child couldn't be saved. I ended up getting slapped several times by the old nanny at his side, and we even slapped each other back and forth. But that nanny was so strong. If only I had listened to my father and not slacked off when practicing horse stance as a child. I've never suffered such humiliation in my entire life. It was at this moment that Ji Wantong burst in. When she saw the red marks on my face, her eyes were practically blazing with fury. I had never seen Ji Wantong like this before. She had always been gentle and a bit childish in front of me. Ji Wantong stormed straight into Si Lanying's bedchamber, where Si Lanying was tugging at her sleeve and sobbing. Ji Wantong slapped her right across the face and said, "Instructing your nanny to beat a concubine, who gave you the nerve?" Everyone was stunned, Consort Z included. "Do you still have any respect for me, the Empress Dowager? Did you hear that, nanny? She was just feeling sorry for the concubine's child. My poor, unfortunate child." Xi Lanying started crying again, but Ji Wantong wasn't buying it. The Empress Dowager pressed her. "I'll ask you one last time. How exactly did this child die?" It was noble Lady Shen who pushed me, Your Majesty. "Very well. Just perfect." "You dare to lie right to my face. Do you really think the things you've done are flawless and without a trace? Guards, drag this brazen woman away and throw her into the cold palace." Xi Lanying was stunned. "Your Majesty, I am innocent." Very soon, 2 rough palace maids barged in that night, ignoring their classmate.
You people from ancient times aren't supposed to be like this. That's not how it's shown on TV at all. Honestly.
The whole person, handsome guy.
Silently, they directly gagged and dragged him to Ji Wantong's courtyard. He snapped, "Useless thing! How were you outsmarted? The Z's are powerful, and Grand Tutor Z has many students. This will surely burden you, heir. Maybe he needs this lesson." Ji Wantong, disrespectfully naming the Empress Dowager, asked, "So there's no evidence Xi Ping framed me? I just hoped he'd confess if I scared him, but what if I really did push him out of jealousy?" So what if that's the case? Even if you beat him to death today, Xielanyi, it would still be his fault. You and I grew up together. Others may not know your temperament, but I do. The year I entered the palace, I said that if I ever gained power, I would protect you for the rest of your life. To me, no one in this world is worth even a strand of your hair. Besides, I trust you. You're still as sharp-tongued as ever when you speak. It even makes my eyes sting a little. Shu came storming into my chambers after court when she heard about this, but the first thing she did was ask if I'd put medicine on the wound on my face.
Siyu,
You don't blame me?
I don't blame you. It's my fault for involving you.
Xielanyi remains jailed.
Keep him locked up.
Ultimately, things didn't escalate as expected. Xielanyi's child wasn't Sayu's. That day, Siyu got drunk and she took advantage. Siyu sought to protect the royal reputation and save the Z family's century-old honor. He temporarily accepted the child, planning to decide her future later. But Xie Lanying was ruthless. Fearing exposure, she plotted this scheme. Siyu had always been aware of her whispers, but stayed silent for the Grand Tutor's reputation. Few expected that a legitimate daughter raised by the Grand Tutor would have such a venomous heart. She used her feelings as leverage. Xilanyan was caught with an appointee of the Empress Dowager and sent back to her family. Rumor says she went mad, muttering about returning home. I never expected my first taste of palace intrigue to end so abruptly. Before my father retired home, she visited me one last time.
Someday when your father can't protect you, stand on your own feet and never use your father's name.
Father, let me come. You have enough savings to support me.
But my father refused, calling me a burden to his own life, so I decided to pursue my own path. I recalled Shujing gifting me jewels at the mid-autumn banquet. Without the palace, I'd likely be a formidable village woman, perhaps living with my brother's daughter, Panner.
Sneaking into the kitchen for pastries or pinching the sleeping family cat's tail. Sometimes I'd get sweet tea soup at Juko Alley. My father said I only need safety and happiness. I lived my first half that way. I'm still figuring out the second. Xiu came again. She's here so often lately. Today she brought a rare foreign tribute. Tomorrow it's fresh fruit from Jiangnan. Don't you have anything better to do as emperor?
To me, you are the most important of all.
When did this guy start talking so sweetly? I give up.
Gigi, that day you said you'd come back to find me the next day, but you broke your promise.
So he remembered everything.
Now, I want to spend my whole life with you, just the two of us. Can you stop leaving me behind?
His golden eyes make it impossible to refuse him. I'll likely be beneath Wantong forever, but looking at Siyu's face, clear as moonlight, I'm happy to. When I got pregnant,
Xu cleared the harem for me, and Shujing came to say goodbye. I held her hand and cried. Pregnancy has made me sentimental. After all our time together, saying goodbye hurts. Xu hated seeing my tears.
How about letting Shu stay?
Hearing this, Shu Jing bolted away. I won't waste my youth in this palace. The capital's handsome men are waiting. Do you think there might be a handsome young man waiting for me too? Shu narrowed her eyes slightly.
Shen Nanji, don't even think about it.
My labor was difficult, lasting all night. Ji Wantong knelt in the Buddha hall, praying for my safety. That was all she wanted. I recall taking her to the temple once. That day, she stood on the steps of Chongwen Temple, head held high.
I've never believed in gods or Buddha, only in myself.
Now she too has placed her hope in the gods. At dawn, amidst the cries of a newborn in the inner palace, I safely delivered a princess. Shu named her Fuan.
We hope that our Princess Fuan will live a life of happiness and peace.
Even an emperor just wants his children's happiness. Luckily, my life went as planned. That half bottle,